Hello fellow compounders, welcome back. Today we're going to extract investment wisdom from the stories of 4 multimillionaire retirees. I recently read an article in the Wall Street Journal titled, "Here's What a $5 million Retirement Looks Like in America." Very few Americans have saved anywhere near that sum in their 401ks and individual retirement accounts. According to an Employee Benefit Research Institute analysis of retirement accounts using the 2019 Survey of Consumer Finances, having a $5 million retirement nest egg puts you in the top 0.1% of households in America. So these $5 million retirees are not that common. The Wall Street Journal managed to interview 4 retirees that retired with around $5 million. Let's review each of them. I'll give you my comments, and at the end of the video, we'll distill lessons to be learned. I'll place the link to the article in the description below. This video is for educational purposes only and should not be considered financial advice. I am not your financial advisor, and you are responsible for your own financial decisions. We'll start with Paul, age 55, divorced with 2 kids in college. He was a Southwest Airlines pilot, and before that, he was an Air Force pilot. His retirement savings amounts to around $6.1 million. The Wall Street Journal article focused more on what he does with his retirement time. I really want to know how he got to those $6 million. What did he invest in, and what is he investing now? Also, what is his withdrawal rate? Over the 40 years he worked, I'm going to guess that his portfolio is about half in tax-advantaged accounts like 401ks and IRAs, and the rest in taxable accounts. He is invested in 95% stocks, mostly index funds. His expenses are around $144,000 per year. Therefore, he is spending about 2.4% of his retirement fund each year. That's the withdrawal rate. It is way below the commonly used 4% safe withdrawal rate that most financial planners suggest. So he's doing really good, very conservative. The next case study is Jay. Jay and his wife, Anita, ages 61 and 60. Jay was a software salesperson and Anita was a dental hygienist. They started saving for retirements really early. They were maxing out their 401k contributions when they were 22 years old. They invested in 7 Vanguard index funds. Jay read a book by Vanguard's founder, John Bogle, and learned about index funds. He also followed Peter Lynch's advice of investing in what you know. In his case, it was investing in his clients, companies that bought his software. He bought Home Depot decades ago at a split-adjusted cost of $3 per share. The couple have $4.2 million in retirement savings, half in retirement accounts and half in taxable accounts. Their annual expenses are $130,000 per year, which is a 3.1% withdrawal rate, still below the 4% used by most financial planners. Our third retiree is Dr. Henry. He is a 72 years old widow. He is a colorectal surgeon in Irvine, California. He continues to work part-time after retirement. His retirement fund is around $1 million, which he holds in equity funds and individual stocks like Microsoft, Apple, and Nvidia. Well, at least that's what he told the Wall Street Journal. His annual expenses are $250,000 per year. Hold on. Before you say, hey, I don't see $5 million in retirement here, let's continue the analysis a little bit more. He owns 2 houses with a combined worth of $2.7 million. One of them he uses to live in, and the other one that's worth $1.2 million is rented for $42,000 per year. This is a 3.5% yield on the cost of the home. He has a $500,000 mortgage on each of them at a 3% rate. So far, Dr. Henry isn't impressing me as a great investor. He probably earned more over his career than the other 3 examples that we're looking at. But he has the smallest retirement fund at $1 million. He rents a $1.2 million home for $42,000, which isn't a great return. He would probably do better in a REIT or real estate investment trust index fund. And his expenses are $250,000 per year, which is way above the other retirees that have more in savings. So this is where things will make sense. He still works part-time. Last year, he earned $300,000 working part-time. My question is, how much longer could he continue working as a surgeon at 72 years old? So there's one more piece of data. He has a pension that pays him $130,000 per year. That's equivalent, if we do the math, of owning $2.9 million in 30-year Treasury bonds from the United States at 4.45%, which is the current interest rate. Okay, so I suspect that that is how Wall Street Journal came up with Dr. Henry having close to $5 million to retire. He has $2.9 million equivalent pension and $1 million in investment and a $1.7 million worth of home equity. So that totals $4.6 million. So let's follow along. If we use the $4.6 million figure and he is spending $250,000 per year, that means that his withdrawal rate is 5.4%, which is really high for my taste. It's way over the 4% safe withdrawal rate suggested by most financial planners. I think when Dr. Henry stops working part-time, he should probably rethink his spending level or try to make better investments. Our fourth and last case is Bob and his wife Pat, ages 80 and 75. He was a veterinary and Army Reserve officer, and she had a nursing career. He maxed out his retirement plan contributions starting in his 30s. He sold 3 businesses over the years, including 2 veterinary practices. These sales greatly added to his net worth. They have about $6.1 million stashed away, about half in individual retirement accounts and the other in taxable accounts. Their annual expenses are $220,000 per year, which is 3.6% of their retirement fund, still under the 4% withdrawal rate. They have no debt and they have 70% invested in stocks. They don't tinker much with their investments. So, what can we learn from these 4 cases? Number 1, start saving for retirement early. In 2 of the 4 cases, we clearly see that they started saving for retirement really early, in their 20s. Number 2, in all cases, they were invested in stocks. I think 2 of them were clearly invested in index funds or were clearly index funds investors. In the first 3 cases, also invested in individual stocks. Strategic investments over time, particularly stocks and index funds, have played a crucial role in building these nest eggs. Number 3, 3 out of the 4 cases had a withdrawal rate below 4%. This is conservative, and this is what I think everyone should think about, not going over that 4% withdrawal rate. Number 4, if you want to spend above the 4% withdrawal rate, then supplement your income with part-time work like Dr. Henry did. Here's a question for you. Do you think you can retire a multimillionaire? Please share in the comment section below how do you plan to do it. And by the way, I placed a link in the description to a free Google Sheet that you can use to estimate your number and how much you would need to invest monthly for your retirement. Also, there's a link to the Wall Street Journal article. It's quite interesting to see what each retiree is doing with their money. So give it a read if you have some time. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. So long.